Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing our sixth video in the LeetCode 75 study plan series. This problem is called reverse words in a string. It is the first medium problem of our list. However, prior to recording this video, I solved the problem, looked over it, and I was thinking, wow, this is actually easier than the previously ranked easy problems. So I guess don't pay too much attention to the ranking of difficulty for these problems because this one's pretty easy. And I think the reason why is because with this particular problem, you can utilize Java's built-in libraries to do this pretty quickly with just a few lines of code. So I'm going to show you how to do that today. And I do think that this particular video is going to be helpful for those of you preparing for interviews because if you're going to be interviewing in Java or Java is your preferred language, then you want to know how to use the built-in libraries and methods and have those at your disposal. So we'll be going over things like collections and regular expressions, which I believe are both essential tools to have under your belt for these technical interviews. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive right into it. So the problem statement is, given an input string s, reverse the order of the words. A word is defined as a sequence of non-space characters. The words in s will be separated by at least one space. Okay. Return a string of the words in reverse order concatenated by a single space. Note that S may contain leading or trailing spaces or multiple spaces between two words. The return string should only have a single space separating the words. Do not include any extra spaces, right? Okay, so the first thing that we want to do is get rid of the leading or trailing spaces, so we don't count those as words. So it's real simple to do that. We're just going to take our parameter s, and then we're just going to set that equal to s.trim, right? And then that's just going to take off the leading spaces, and then and the trailing spaces as well. Okay, and then after that, basically what we want to do is separate the words by spaces. You know, if it's but there's going to be there can be examples where there's multiple spaces in between two words. So we have to take that into consideration, and that's where the regular expressions are going to come to help us, right? And then we're going to have to store this result into an array list. So in order to do that, we just need to create a list, right? So we're just going to do a list of strings, and then we can call this word list, and then we're going to use the built-in method of the arrays library, arrays.asList, okay? And then now we're going to be using the split in the regular expression, right? So we're going to do s.split, and then for our parameter for this, we're going to do 2 backslashes s plus. Okay, and that's gonna separate the words by any spaces and then put them into our word list. And then for those of you who aren't familiar with these regular expressions or you feel like you want to practice them more, I'm going to leave 2 links in the description. The first is going to be using a tutorial for using the split method in Java, and then the second one is going to be for regular expressions, just so you can have those under your tool belt, as I mentioned earlier. Could probably be of pretty good value to you. So the next thing that we're going to want to do is reverse the order of the words, and we can do this with one line using the built-in collections methods that Java has to offer, right? So it's going to be pretty simple. For those of you who haven't done this before, it's just going to be collections dot reverse, and then we just put in our word list, right? So this is gonna reverse it. It's pretty straightforward, pretty self-explanatory. And then now we have our reversed list. So all we need to do is turn it into a string. How do we do that? Well, we can just do it in our return statement, return string, and then we do dot join, and then we can perform a join operation on a collection, and then we're going to want to join it by spaces, so that's going to be our first argument. Okay, spaces, and then we just need to specify word list. Cool. and that's going to do the trick for us. All right, so we'll go ahead and submit this. Cool, as you can see, it works just fine. And then for those of you who want to go over the time and space complexity, let's go ahead and do this right now. So for the time complexity, it's big O of n, where n is the number of characters in the input string. We then reverse the array, which is also O of n, and finally join the words back together, which is again O of n. So since these operations are sequential, our overall time complexity remains big O of n. And as for the space complexity, we're creating an array of words, which is, in the worst case, where the string has no spaces, it would be the size of big O of n. So therefore, our space complexity is also big O of n. So that's it for today's problem. Remember, practicing is key to mastering any skill, and coding is no exception. So I'll see you guys in the next video. And if you found this helpful, please go ahead and like. I'm trying to build up my channel, so if you subscribe, I'd super duper appreciate that. And also, if you have any suggestions, please go ahead and feel free to leave those in the comments, as well as any questions or anything you want to say. Please, I encourage you to leave something in the comments for me, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. All right, well, you guys have a good one, and I'll see you in the next video.